Movie start with the chase between car and bike. The car hit that bike. Then we see he is John. He takes key card from bike man and John Wick drives to a warehouse of Abram Tarasov to get his car back. Abram wants payback against John for killing his brother Vigo and nephew Yusuf. John kills all of Abram's guards and then he finally gets to his car. As he drives away, a number of Abram's men attack John. His car is seriously damaged when the henchmen crash into his car. But Wick fights off each of the men and then make his way to Abram's office. There, John pours Abram and himself a drink. He chooses to spare Abram and offers him peace. Abram questions John as to whether or not he can actually find peace. John returns home to his unnamed dog he took at the end of the first movie. He calls Aurelio to come pick up the car. Aurelio says he will fix it till 2030 Christmas. After Aurelio leaves, John reburies his weapons and gold under fresh cement, believing he is done with the assassin's life. Later that night, John is visited by another assassin named Santino D'Antonio. He presents John with a marker that John gave to him when he was completing the task which allowed him to leave his former life behind. The marker represents a blood oath obligating John to perform any service required by Santino. John refuses to help Santino. Unknowing the consequences, Santino leaves John's house and standing in for a grenade launcher to fire grenades that destroy John's house. John and the dog escape. John goes to the Continental Hotel to meet with Winston to discuss the marker and what Santino has requested of him. He will get excommunicado, which mean that there will be price on John to kill him, and no gang or person will help John. John departs and leaves the dog in the care of the hotel's concierge, Sharon. John tracks down Santino and finally agrees to do one job for him. Santino wants John to kill his sister Gianna, who is set to ascend to the high table, a group of powerful assassins. John argues that this is an impossible target, to which Santino replies that this is exactly why he wanted John for the task. He needed the best. Seeing no way out of it, John travels to Rome to complete the task. He stays at the Rome Continental, owned by Julius. John meets with suppliers to prepare, a tailor to buy custom bullet-resistant lined suits, a historian to obtain maps of the catacombs, and an armorer to procure weapons. John attends a party that is Gianna's coronation and welcome to the high table. She is accompanied by her loyal bodyguard Cassian. John sneaks into Gianna's room and confronts her alone. He tells her that Santino sent him. She warns him of the events that will unfold once she is dead. She chooses to die on her own terms by slitting her wrists. Gianna lies in a pool as she dies. In honor of their past friendship, John holds her hand until she passes out, and to claim the marker, John shoots her in the head. Cassian spots John as he is leaving. Upon learning that John is working, Cassian draws his weapon, as does John, and each shoots the other, though they are uninjured due to their bullet-resistant clothing. John runs into the catacombs where Iz has pre-positioned the weapons he bought earlier. He is attacked by dozens of Santino's henchmen who intend to tie up loose ends by killing him. He realizes Santino is double-crossing him and kills everyone before he gets away. Cassian catches up to him and they fight until they crash through a window of the Rome Continental. Since no blood may be spilled on Continental grounds, John and Cassian sit at the bar and have a drink together. John explains the marker that Santino called on him to kill his sister. Cassian understands but also cannot allow his ward's killer to go unpunished. He pays for John's drink and leaves. John then spots Ares, Santino's mute bodyguard. She lets him know through sign language that she'll be seeing him. He replies in sign language that if she keeps following him, he'll end her. As John is heading back to New York City, Santino puts out a $7 million contract to kill John. The contract is distributed to all the assassins in the area. A female violinist in the subway pulls out a gun from the violin and tries to kill John, but he subdues her and breaks her neck. Two men in the subway try to kill him and John brutally kills them with a pencil. Cassian finds John as he gets on the subway and fights him in the train. John stabs knife in Cassian's chest, piercing his aorta. He allows to live Cassian and tells him that if he pulls out the knife, he will bleed to death. John leaves Cassian on the subway. Injured John seeks to a homeless man and asks for his help. John gives him a coin and asks to be taken to him. The homeless man then kills two men dressed as janitors who are looking for John. John says him it means to be the Bowery King, an assassin that once had a run-in with John and was left with a scar on his neck. John spared him, and so now the Bowery King views himself as unbreakable. He also knows of the bounty on John's head and is very tempted to take the contract, but John convinces him otherwise. With BK's help, John is able to locate Santino's whereabouts. John heads to a museum where Santino is set to take his place at the high table. John crashes the party and as Santino's men attempt to stop him, he kills them all. John chases Santino through a hall of mirrors before having to fight Ares. John manages to stab Ares and leave her to die, not giving her the same professional courtesy he gave to Cashin. Santino rushes to the New York Continental to seek refuge, knowing that he can't be attacked within. John finds Santino in the lounge. Winston knows what John is about to do and tries to calm him down. Still, John kills Santino, shooting him in the head. John returns to pick up his dog from Sharon. The next day, John goes with his dog to meet with Winston at the park. Winston informs John that because he killed on Continental grounds, the high table has doubled the contract and sent it to every assassin across the globe. Winston must mark John as excommunicado, but he gives him a 1-hour lead before the contract takes effect. It then becomes evident that every single person in the park is an assassin, and they have their eyes on John. John tells Winston to let everyone know that if they go after him, he will kill them all. Winston agrees. John leaves. Every passing person looks at John, knowing who he is and what they want from him. John is forced to take the dog and keep on running.